Here is the Illustrator version of how blending modes work. What we have here is a photograph of a building with a series of gray bars, dark gray, light gray, overlaid on top, and they're grouped together. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple blending modes. And blending modes, when I click on this, you can see them right here. And if you go to the appearance panel, right above the appearance panel is transparency. Okay, so you can either get that from this side toolbar, I'm in Essentials Classic, or you can go to the window menu and you can find it here, go down to transparency. Either way. And we have our normal opacity that we have at the top. We can take down the opacity easily. But there's something else that gives you more power to what we're doing, and that's the blending modes. So here's the blending modes available in Illustrator. They're grouped into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. The ones that you use most are the first two sections, the darken and the lighten section. So if we hit darken, you will notice that everything under the bars gets darker. If it was a darker bar to begin with, what's underneath it's apparently almost black. Up top it's not quite as much. Multiply works much the same. Sometimes you can't tell any difference. Darkening dark things on top and not as much when there's a lighter object on top. Okay, and if you want to adjust it, you can always go and move the opacity and change how it looks. We're going to stay at 100% and look how it works. Color burn is more extreme on the darks and less extreme on the lights. So that's another version. Lighten does the opposite. Okay, it lightens everything up. Notice where it was very light at the top, those light bars are white. Here you start to see a little bit more color. Screen, much the same, just a little different. So again, I always play with these to see what effect I want. Color dodge really makes certain colors stand out when you have dark over a dark color. One that I like to use a lot is soft light. It will soften things, and it doesn't matter quite as much how dark your overlay is. Hard light is more extreme, obviously. And the overlay gives just a little bit different look. So those are the ones you might use. You get into these other ones, they really get extreme, changing colors, completely changing. That one doesn't change the color as much. Saturation, much the same. So unless you're looking for an extreme effect, you'll want to use these top ones either to darken something over or lighten it up to give just a little bit more of a muted effect. And you can do that in combination with your opacity to get the effect you want. Now, there's something called the appearance panel. It's a circle with the dots around it on this side toolbar. And again, you can also get it from your window, appearance. And this tells you what you have done and what effects are on a certain object. So I could turn it off to see what it looks like, or I can click on this and adjust it. If I want to go back to multiply, I can do that. And again, if you turn off the eyeball, it turns off the effect. And some of the other effects that we've learned in the past, like the warps and things like that, we can access through this menu here, the FX menu, and add more effects to our object. If we had fills and strokes that were consistent, right now this is not a consistent because it changes the how dark the black is. But we can see that. We can add strokes, we can add fills, and do all that in the appearance panel besides seeing what has been done to a certain object. So that's a quick introduction to blending modes. I will also do this tutorial in Gravit Designer for those of you that are working on Gravit Designer.